All right, guys, welcome back to another weekly market recap. It is the 1st of April, 2021. So a lot can change within a week. So jumping off of my last week's video where I titled it Market Fear. What was interesting after I released that video, Joe Biden ended up doing his address to the nation, his speech. And some of the things that he was addressing particularly was the mass shooting that happened in Colorado. Introducing gun control, talking about gun controls and, things like that, putting in proper checks. He also ended up talking about the economy, how to build it back. That seems to be his new slogan. Well, the Democrats' slogan that they've been running with for the past 3 or 4 weeks in terms of getting the economy back on track and, getting infrastructures in place, money pumping into that. You're trying to get manufacturing back up into place. This is some of the things that they're looking at. And the market actually responded very favorably to his speech, hence why we ended up having this complete turnaround. So I showed you last week that we were pretty much in the fear index side of things. Now, if you have a look, we're more on the neutral side. And this is only going to go more up into the green side of things, or the greed side of things. Now, what's interesting to note is if you have a look again at the US 10-year Treasury yield, it is slightly down. Now, what's happening is people are pumping money into the debt market again. And this is into your bonds, your Treasury bonds. And again, like I said, it's a safe haven. And I suspect the reason why they're doing that is because Biden is going to again address the nation. And again, he's going to be talking about his rollout plan with regards to the US economy's infrastructure. So this is why people are just quickly going into the safe assets right now, simply because we don't know how the US economy is going to react to Biden's speech to the nation. So they're just hedging their bets a little bit safer right now. But I have no doubt that the economy, the market will actually respond quite favorably to what he's got to say today. And there's a couple of reasons for that. If we have a look, the Dow Jones futures, the stock market rallies on Biden's infrastructure plan. So Micron in buy range, Tesla, Neo deliveries on top. So if we go here, you'll see futures are pretty much all in the green. The Volatility Index here is actually down. That's a good sign in terms of why the markets are all into green, because there isn't really any fear right now. Everyone's kind of neutral and going into the green or greed side of things. So this is why you're seeing pretty much all the futures are up. If we have a look at the world indexes, majority, except for the Dow Jones, is slightly down, but everything is pretty much up. If we have a look at the NASDAQ itself, this is also up. As you can see, it's bouncing up. I'm expecting this to potentially retest this and get smacked down again. But there's a lot of things going now for the US economy right now, particularly what will happen after Biden's speech. As you can see, Biden to push another coronavirus recovery bill on top of the 1.9 trillion package. The market's going to love this. If we have a look at Google, expects to reopen the US offices over the next month. So the economy is recovering. People are coming out of their lockdown periods now. If we have a look at California, they just went crazy. And California reopens wildly after a year under COVID-19 lockdown. So the economy is starting to open up now. Okay, so this is why, I'm expecting all of this to go into green. Even if you have a look at commodities, are pretty much doing quite well. Silver's under a little bit of a pressure, but really not by much. I'm expecting this still looking at retesting, around about 26 range, and then probably get smacked down again. But it's going to be bobbing up and down here for a bit. So commodities, they're doing okay. Gold, it's recovered quite nicely. I'm expecting it to again go up, potentially test, the 1800. But we'll see what happens. I mean, even platinum's doing quite well. US oil, there's another OPEC meeting that's happening again today. Talking about whether they're going to curb, supply, things like that. Particularly, some of the nations are still in their lockdown, particularly in Europe, are still within their lockdown period. So they might look at curtailing, so, a supply and demand side of things. So, that's something to look out for. So oil rises, climb ahead of the OPEC output meeting. That is happening today. But I don't think their stances are really going to change that much. And I don't think they're really going to curtail the supply of oil too much. I think they're just really going to stick to their plan right now, at least up until May or the end of the month. So let's see what happens there. But by and large, I mean, I'm expecting, the US 10-year Treasury healed after Biden's speech is actually going to go into the green. Like I said, this is a typical sentiment indicator in terms of confidence in the economy. And I expect it to go up. I expect NASDAQ to continue to rise. I mean, it did fall out of this rising wedge, but it is going to look at retesting this. It might even get back into the shape, but I have no doubt it's probably going to retest this. But I'm leaning towards it potentially being smacked down again. So, you've got a lot of money that's going to be stimulated into the economy. The US dollar, the Dixie, is going to take a bit of a bleeding on it. So it will take a bit of a hit. So I'm expecting the US dollar to potentially go down a little bit. But let's see what happens. I mean, we don't know how the economy or how the market's going to react to Biden's speech, but I have a feeling that it will react very positively. And I think the dollar will take a bit of a hit on that because of all of this money that's going to be stimulated into the economy, particularly, their massive rollout that they want to do for the infrastructure plan. I mean, this is 2.25 trillion infrastructure plan. I mean, they're calling this like a once in a generation package deal that's coming out. So I think the market, again, it's going to act favorably. You got more money coming in on top of the corona's recovery bill being pumped on top of that. There's going to be a whole host of money coming in, and the market's going to like it. That's my personal opinion, but we don't know. We need to have a look. So I think pretty much going into the Easter and after Easter, particularly for next week, we're pretty much going to see newer highs in terms of the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and so forth. If we have a look at what is happening, Bitcoin is flirting with the 60k mark, and it's just bobbing up and down within this channel itself. So Bitcoin has just been chilling for a little bit for these past couple of days, just really kind of taking a bit of a relaxed attitude right now, but it's gonna look at testing that 60k. So it is flirting with it right now. What is interesting, if we have a look at the MACD, I just want to see if it can break through this resistance line here, but the momentum's with it, and it looks like it could. So let's, you got to keep your eye on that. Other news pertaining to Bitcoin: Goldman Sachs to become the second big bank offering Bitcoin to wealthy clients. I mean, it's incredible. Like a year ago, they were stating they would fire one of their staff if they offered Bitcoin to, their clients. And now a year later, like, we're going to offer Bitcoin to, our wealthy clients. It's the whole mentality is just, it's so strange. But again, this is just such bullish signs for Bitcoin, so it's only going to go up. If we have a look of the tweets of the day, this is Plan B's stock to flow model, and it's just on par. I mean, I love these tweets here. New dot, which is this one over here, 6th month up in a row, like clockwork. And it has been clockwork. So he is aiming for pretty much, about 2 200,000 before we start getting a bit of a consolidation period, multi-year consolidation period, and then shoot up and test that million and above. I mean, he's aiming for close to about 10 million US dollars for Bitcoin. Insane, absolutely insane, before 2025. But his model has been proven correct so far. And yeah, so this is a tweet of the week. So have a look. Bitcoin's looking strong. Pretty much everything's looking good. It hasn't really been too much of excitement, I'll be honest with you. So the incidents with the Suez Canal with the boat, they kind of got that sorted out now. And they've wiggled it a little bit loose now, so not too much excitement at this current stage. But watch out for Joe Biden's speech today, because it is going to affect the market. Let's see how the market reacts on it. I personally believe the market is going to react quite nicely. There's a lot of money that's going to be stimulated. I just think the Dixie, the dollar, will take a bit of a bleeding on it, and I do believe that the 10-year Treasury yield will also shoot up as well. So anyway, guys, that is my quick little weekly recap for you guys. So yeah, Joe Biden and the OPEC meeting, watch out for that. Otherwise, guys, please have a great Easter and be safe. Peace out.